Well, good afternoon, and thanks everybody for coming today, and for many of you for joining online. I apologize for the technical difficulties, but we are together now. And we're gathered today here on Treaty 7 land on an important anniversary. A year ago today was the devastating wildfire in the town of Jasper, one of the worst natural disasters to ever hit here in Alberta, and one that hit really close. Even for Albertans who don't spend a lot of time in Jasper, Jasper really is a part of our identity. And anniversaries like today can be hard. And I know that the town of Jasper just did a wonderful commemoration, and 6 of our Alberta New Democrat MLA colleagues were able to join, not to speak, not to grandstand, but just to talk to folks, to talk to the people of Jasper, to talk to first responders about what they've been through in the last year as part of our Better Together summer. And I think it's important. Anniversaries like today really matter. They're hard days. They're going to dredge up a lot of bad memories. They're going to remind people of the work that is left to be done in order to recover their businesses and their properties. But today is also a day of gratitude. It's a day to be grateful for the first responders, for all of the citizen volunteers, for all of the public servants who work hard every single day to keep us safe. And in particular today, we remember with extraordinary gratitude the life of a young man who lost his life fighting those fires, Morgan Kitchen. Imagine the future that Morgan would have had, but Morgan believed in public service and in keeping all of us safe. So our job today then is to really ensure that we are remembering, that we are supporting, but also that we're working hard to make sure that we're ready for the next natural disaster, that we'll do a better job the next time, that we can ensure that things like this don't happen again. And part of that means evaluating what went wrong and working together for better outcomes in the future. Before I go much further down there, I'd like to say to Albertans, there's something you can do right now. Support Jasper. Make a visit to Jasper part of your summer vacation plans. Thanks to the new Canada Strong Pass, there's free admission to Canada's national parks, including Jasper National Park. We, as the NDP caucus, have decided to have our next caucus gathering in Jasper in order to do our bit to support the local economy. So support local businesses, visit Jasper, reach out to friends and family who've been there. These sorts of things really make a difference. But I think also there is some politics here. And I never set out to be someone who is an expert in natural disasters and emergency management. I would have much preferred not to go through the things that gave me that experience. But one thing I know for sure is at a time like this, at a time of an emergency and at a time of a commemoration, you have to work hard to set the politics aside. You got to let the experts do their work. You've got to support the frontline responders. You've got to be able to do a good job. And the town of Jasper, under its remarkable mayor, Richard Ireland, the only mayor Jasper has ever had, did exactly the right thing. They commissioned a report from experts to look at what went wrong, to try and figure out how they can do better. The report's very first lines say it's not about ascribing blame, but it's about having an honest view of what happened. They interviewed some 300 people who were on the front lines about this. And in one paragraph, in sort of a 45 or 50-page report, they did mention that the UCP government has some learning to do, that they got involved in areas outside of their jurisdiction, that they tried to exert decision-making control over areas where they didn't have any. They asked for information that distracted people that wasn't necessary at the time. Now, these are things that happen in emergency management. These are things you learn from. Now, I kind of wish that the Premier and her ministers had actually read the report. It's clear that the Premier at least hadn't. And when she was told that there were these mild criticisms of what happened there, she didn't accept the feedback. She got really angry. She lashed out. She insulted the experts who wrote the report. She insulted the town of Jasper. She insulted the people of Jasper. And she demanded an apology. She demanded an apology from the victims of a devastating wildfire, an apology because she felt personally insulted. Well, as I said this weekend, I'm sorry, Your Majesty, you're not actually the Queen. You're the Premier. and public servants accept responsibility, something that this government has had a great deal of trouble in trying to do. Jasper and Alberta deserve real leadership, not petulant, entitled politicians who lash out and can't brook any criticism whatsoever. This is a town in recovery. This is a town where businesses are struggling to come back. It's a town that lost 1/3 of its structures. And we know that we have to help in this recovery. And the provincial government, by the way, has done a lousy job of that as well. We have people living in temporary housing. We had the provincial government using this yet again as an opportunity to pick a fight with Ottawa and not build the housing that the town of Jasper says it needs in the hopes that they could, I don't know, own the libs, try and win a fight with Parks Canada. And as a result, the pace of housing construction in Jasper has been far, far slower than it needs to be. And the Premier has expressed no contrition, no regret for demanding an apology from the town of Jasper. She has to be committed to working with partners, whether that's local municipalities, local people, or even the federal government. Otherwise, future disasters will become more political, more chaotic, and more dangerous. It's worth noting that the Premier today really talked about the $181 million that the province has spent in Jasper, which is great. They needed to do it. She didn't mention that the vast majority of that money was from the disaster, because we know what makes Alberta work is that we are better together, and that better is always possible. Happy to take questions.
All right, we'll do a quick pass for questions in the room. All right, we will go to questions on the line. So just a reminder, if you're joining us on Zoom, to use the raise hand. Okay, and with no questions on Zoom, that concludes our press conference.
That was so easy.
Thanks, folks.
All right, thanks, everybody.